as the Trump administration released a shocking new report showing how the socialists in Havana have been infiltrating the U.S. government for decades. The 100-page document says Cuba built a network to recruit and radicalize Americans, including people who helped launch the careers of people in politics like, you guessed it, former Democrat President Barack Obama. So joining me now is a very powerful voice, a powerful Cuban-American voice on Capitol Hill. She is Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar. Congresswoman, always good to talk to you. Welcome back.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be talking to your audience.
You know, I guess we should not be surprised. We know the radical mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, spent some of her formative years in Cuba. What do you make, though, of the staggering breadth of this State Department report and the radical ties to folks that were around Barack Obama?
Well, it's very simple. We have a Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, that understands the threat. We have a president at the White House that understands the threat of anything and everything that has to do with socialism. And this pretty word that they're trying to embellish by putting democratic socialism in front of socialism or pragmatic socialism, all that is BS. It's socialists, they're Marxists, they're communists, and they're coming to get us.
Very interesting. Last time you were here on the show a few weeks ago, we were talking about Cuba's worsening energy crisis. The socialists were said to be days away from running out of electricity, and we all know it's the common people who suffer the most, while those in power, try to hoard the energy. The president created a lot of headlines by suggesting America might take over Cuba. Where does all that stand? What's the reality on the island that you're hearing about? They still running out of energy? Is the government close to coming down?
Yes, Trump has said it clearly. It's the Donroe doctrine. And it was first Maduro in Venezuela, then it's going to be Raul Castro in Cuba, and then third is going to be Daniel Ortega in Nicaragua. Why? Because those are the three mothership of socialists, of evil empires in the Western Hemisphere. The good thing is that Donald Trump has understood that the Western Hemisphere is our backyard. And as the Secretary of State has always said, is the proximity to our territory, to the motherland, to the United States, that makes it such a big threat, because anything that happens there, we feel it immediately. And that is why I applaud the president, I applaud Secretary, and Cuba is next. I think that basically what's happening is that the same thing, the same process that we saw with Maduro. President Trump sent the message to Maduro many times over, saying it's time for you to go to Belarus, go to Turkey. And he did not. He did not pay attention to what the president was saying. Same thing with Raul Castro. He's indicted. We're telling him his brother and his son and his nephew leave with the old man. If they don't read the memo, they'll be out.
I want to follow up on something you said a moment ago. You're talking about the reality on the ground in Cuba and the Donroe doctrine, which I love. But what about the reality on the ground here? You said these socialists are coming for you. What's your message to our audience, who's someone whose family has felt this before? When we see, the rise of socialist congressional candidates, we see a new poll out today saying AOC is leading Gavin Newsom in New Hampshire, the New Hampshire primary. What do you mean they're coming for you next?
Oh, my God. If they would only know what we know in my district. I represent the city of Miami, the heart of the Cuban exile community, the Venezuelan community. We do know what socialism means. They are in the business of power. They are promising things that are unrealistic to give. They are beautiful in theory, miserable in practice. They want to make government God. They do think that they have the monopoly on compassion and on morality. Very dangerous. And the problem is that the average American person and the American youth does not have a point of reference. Does not know what my constituents know. I'm first generation Cuban American. My parents fled democratic socialism. We know for 65 years that once they grab power, they're like the pit bull. They will never let go. And that's my fear. That's my problem. That's why I'm telling my Republican Party, you got to bring votes, bring the Hispanics back to the GOP so we can deter and stop the socialists.
Wow, you're really laying out the stakes. We appreciate it. Congresswoman Maria Salazar, laying out the dangers of socialism. Thank you.